This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And on the line with us is Congressman Keith Ellison, the Deputy Director of the DNC. As a congressman, he represents the 5th District of Minnesota and does so brilliantly. His website, ellison.house.org, .house.gov. And in the capacity of the Deputy Director of the DNC, Democrats.org. And you can tweet him at Keith Ellison. Congressman, welcome back to the program.
Hey, man, great to be on with you. And, I was listening to the show before and just doing some of that base level, civic education, information, very important.
Thank you.
We don't do nearly enough of it. We got to do a lot more.
Yeah, we do the best we can here. So there's a lot going on in Congress right now and in the world and in the Democratic Party. And I understand that you'd like to take some calls from listeners, that you're available for the whole half hour.
I am, and I would love to. I love talking to the folks, man, so let's do it.
Great. Okay. Before we get to that, I'm just wondering if there's any message that you want to share with folks or anything that, your thoughts on what we need to be paying attention to right now politically, where the Democratic Party is at, stuff like that?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Let me just say that from a standpoint of winning elections, that I think that is a conversation that we all better pay a lot of attention to, because when we lose, right? So just think about the folks who are, having to worry about losing their health care because of who won the last election. I just want to say that the real thing we got to focus on, and that we need to do this summer, and we're doing it through Resistance Summer, is presence. What does that mean? That means that I don't care what message you come up with. You can come up with the best message in the world. If you don't get it to people's doorstep, to their ears, through the radio, through their, through the phone, then it doesn't really matter. We have got to remember that, making sure we got a strong message is part of that means presence, means being in the room with folks, listening, hearing their feedback, and sharing some thoughts on how we all move forward. It's not just do a poll, come up with some a message or some magic words, and then good, we got it. No, that's not nearly good enough. You've got to then deliver it. And that's why, I appreciate your show so much, because you're getting there, man. And that's why, we're pushing the this Democrats Live thing that we do, which is a live stream we do every Wednesday from the DNC, and that's why we're trying to push the message out all the time.
So the Democrats Live people could see over at Democrats.org every Wednesday at what time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock? Cool. Yep. Okay. All right. You want to pick up some phone calls?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go for it. Steve in Simi Valley, California. Steve, you are on the air with Congressman Keith Ellison.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Tom. Question. I'm a FERS retiree, and I know that Donald Trump and the Republicans want to eliminate the FERS Social Security supplement. So I know they came out with their budget. I just want to know what the congressman thought the chances are that they're going to eliminate that on this year's budget.
So let me answer that question as honestly and directly as I can. They'd like to eliminate it, and if we don't fight back, they probably will. I mean, the budget that they dropped, I've seen a lot of ugly, scary-looking Republican budgets. I lived through sequester, the Budget Control Act. We've seen all that nasty stuff. This is the single worst proposal I have ever seen from any Republican ever. And, yeah, they're going straight at public employees. They're going straight at the FERS program. For people who don't know what that is the federal retirement program that federal employees are in. And it's not unlike other, retirement security programs that other folks work for. But this one is called FERS. They got others. There's CalPERS in California. There's all kinds of different retirement savings programs people are in who work a lifetime. And they've earned that benefit. And yet the Republican talking point is that it's too expensive. We can't afford it. Basically, they want to cut people's retirement security so that they can get a bigger tax cut to rich people so that they can use that money to buy off more politicians. That's kind of what their game plan has been and is. I can tell you this, likely compromise language will be, we'll leave the people alone who've already gotten into the program, but we're going to reduce new employees, which is wrong too, right? So They're starting out really bad. Conventional wisdom says that they're going to make some kind of a compromise, but the compromise is going to be bad too. What about people who worked a lifetime expecting to retire, right? Let's start there. And actually, people don't have enough money to retire on. We should be talking about how to expand Social Security and retirement benefits. We should be trying to return to a program where you have a defined benefit program as opposed to just, put your money on the stock market and hope for the best. So that's my best answer.
Amen. Well said. Todd, in Tacoma, Washington, you are on the air with Congressman Keith Ellison.
Hi, this is Todd from Tacoma, Washington. I was wondering about any legislation on the U.S. Postal Service privatization or 5-day delivery, or like the FERS you were just talking about, it will affect the post office. So what legislation is out there for the U.S. Postal Service?
Let's talk Postal Service. Thank you for the question. Let me just say as a preliminary matter, the Postal Service is a venerated American institution which has gotten us the mail that we need for literally centuries, started by, I believe, Benjamin Franklin.
It was. He was our nation's first postmaster general, I believe.
Yeah, but you should also know that the post office has been hiring people of color since immediately after the Civil War, has hired more veterans, more women, and has been that place of employment that, people who have been working class folks and people from racial minorities and women could expect to get employed in and do meaningful and important work and advance themselves, put themselves into a middle class job. The post office is, I think, it's the biggest public employee union. I might be wrong, but if it's one of the biggest for sure,
I believe you're right.
I think I am right about that. So that's just what I want to say off top. So some people want to attack it. Oh, by the way, the Postal Service is not a unit of government. It is a quasi-government corporation, and it has been up until a piece of legislation back in, I believe, 2006 was definitely in the black, and it would be in the black now if it were not for this ridiculous legislative mandate, which requires them to pre-fund health care and retirement benefits. Now let's talk health. Now let's talk post office. There are companies like Pitney Bowes and a few others that are trying to get that money. They want to take over it because they want to take all the profitable centers and then leave the rest, basically the last mile. That means that they want to fly it around and charge you $5 to send a letter, but they want to leave it so that the Postal Service can be left with the least profitable part of it, and basically that's the last mile delivery. It's not true that the post office is failing because of the internet. In fact, because of online shopping, they've seen a boost in parcel delivery. That's important for people to know. But there have been proposals to go to 5-day. There have been proposals to have like these centralized boxes, which means they don't deliver to your door, but they deliver to some spot in your neighborhood. And there have been legislative proposals on all of that. There have been, I think that the Postal Service is as big a fight as any because, one, they want to crack that union. Two, they want to take out the profitable parts and leave the rest to wither. Three, they want to. They don't like the government. And the Postal Service is quasi-government still. They don't like the idea of the government doing good things for people because they want only private. They want to concentrate power in the hands of corporations and individuals, not the public. So they're after the post office. All of us need to be clear as crystal about that and fight for it, defend it, and make sure we fight for it. So, yeah, there's plenty of proposals out there to cut the post office, 5-day, all kinds of stuff. We should resist it all. In fact, we should be allowing postal banking.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
We'll be right back with more of your calls for Congressman Keith Ellison right after.